Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic, and welcome back to the channel. And today, if you guys, is another Hobbit movie review. First and foremost, you're going to be seeing some Lego The Hobbit gameplay in the background. Make sure to enjoy that. And, yeah, so today we're talking about The Hobbit 2, or The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. Now, this is, the Hobbit 1, Unexpected Journey. I've saw the extended version of that before. I've seen that before. This version, I've only seen the normal theatrical version. However, I've never seen the extended version of The Desolation of Smaug until now. And first, I'm going to start off with the bad things, and then I'm going to start off with the extended content, and then just, an overall review. So if you like the video, make sure to like the video and subscribe, because I'm going to be covering Hobbit 3 and Lord of the Rings 1, 2, 3 as well. A bunch of other awesome stuff coming on the channel. So, as far as negatives for The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, I've kind of had these issues since 2013 and whatever, when it first came out, 2014, whatever, and it's the CGI. And look, a lot of people go, oh, The Hobbit is inferior to Lord of the Rings because Lord of the Rings is more practical. And yet, look, the Lord of the Rings, they're older films, so they had to do practical. CGI during the Hobbit trilogy is definitely good. However, there are a few moments in this film that aren't that great. Now, there's one scene during the barrel chase, after they escape Thranduil's little elk area in the woods, and they're kind of going on the barrels in the water. There's a shot of Dwalin, probably my favorite dwarf, but Dwalin he's got a freaking axe, and he kind of it's a very specific shot, and he kind of like turns around and he hits an orc, and he kind of turns toward the camera, and he just looks really like slimy and painty and weird looking, and that's just because the background isn't there. And there's a lot of green screen in this film, obviously, but a lot of it does look really well made. Really good. Some of it does not. However, just that one shot of Dwalin just always kind of stood out to me. It's kind of weird. There are a few moments, where some of the characters like Bard's talking, Balin's talking or whatever, and you can tell they're in front of a green screen. It's not bad, but it is noticeable. And look, with that CGI stuff in there, it's not that bad, in the grand scheme of things, because when you're watching the film, you see Smaug, which is a effing technical marvel. It's like Davy Jones, or Snoke, or Gollum, or freaking, whatever, Thanos, the big wigs of, CGI Dome, I guess, CGI Dome, and, Smaug is one of them for sure, and, it's just a fantastic CGI dragon, and, it still holds up to this day, and I think I'm a lot of the CGI does hold up like Smaug in this film. It's not like every single scene there's like, oh, that's bad. But, there are one or two moments, especially that Dwalin shot, that are kind of weird. And then, as far as, like, bad things, to cap on that before we move on to the extended content, there really isn't a whole lot. I think that's really my only negative. I think, the normal version I saw was 161 minutes, I think, and this was 183. So this was a little bit of a longer, 20-ish minutes or so of extra content, and that brings me to the extended version content. So, we get a few extra scenes, kind of building the lore. We see, in the very beginning when Thorin and Gandalf are talking in the Prancing Pony and Bree, you see Thorin and Gandalf talking. It's a kind of a long scene in the film, but it's an even longer scene in the extended version, and it's a great effing scene, because one of the negatives I have, and I'm not going to mention this because I'm not covering this version, but one of the negatives I had of The Hobbit 2, the normal theatrical cut, was that in the beginning, Thorin and Gandalf, they're talking, he's like, my father, he lives, Gandalf, he lives, and he's like, yeah, you're full of crap, that scene, and it always freaking bugged me, because Thorin's like, Gandalf, my dad's alive, he's out there somewhere, we gotta go find him, and he's like, oh, okay, whatever, and then they never effing touch upon it in the entire freaking movie ever again, or the third film, they don't even mention it at all. It's just, hey, my dad's alive, okay, let's just forget about that plot point and effing move on, so that was one of the negatives of the normal cut. Thankfully, in this version, we not only get some extra context of his father, Thrain, I believe, but you actually do see a little flashback of him, like, where's Thorin? And, Thorin's like, I'm not going to leave you. All that, those really cool stuff in there. And it kind of goes to different plot points in the film. And there's even a scene in Dol Guldur where Gandalf is, in the normal version, beating the snot, or trying to beat the snot out of, Sauron, the necromancer, and, Azog and the orcs and all that crap. And you see, it's just a specific shot. But in this film, Thrain, Thorin's father, he's like a little hermit dude running around like a freaking golem kind of thing, and of course he's under a spell, but kind of lost his marbles. So there's a few scenes of that, kind of action scenes, I guess, action scenes of Gandalf running around like an idiot throughout all these different corridors and spikes and areas of Dol Guldur, and then you do see, Thrain. He attacks him, and then they kind of, they boogie on out of there, and they try to get the fudge out, and of course, that is when, the Necromancer or Sauron kills him, kind of grabs him with like this black tendrils, and you hear a Wilhelm scream. There's two of them in the film, and just kind of yeets him into the effing smoke, and it's kind of a silly, dumb way to kill him. The Wilhelm scream shit. He just flies into the thing, but it was cool to see that they. I thought we were just going to have one scene of like, oh, there he is, and, Azog's going to stab him or something. But no, we actually see, like, and I don't know if they reshot it, but, in the normal version, when Gandalf's running from Sauron and they're having a little battle, that little dude, Thorin's father, he's nowhere to be seen. And then in this film, when Gandalf's running, you see him, where he's fighting Sauron in that little, intense battle with the wizard staff, with the staff and the magic and all that. You see him there with him. So it's really cool that they were able to do that. And again, they ultimately fixed the biggest negative of the film, and that was that they didn't even mention or go into any detail about Thorin's dad. They just kind of said, oh, screw that, let's move on with the plot. The important, stuff, and in this film they actually did that, which is really nice. In terms of other extended versions, we get, a few jokes here and there. We get a few more scenes of kind of building the lore. I think there's an extended scene with Beorn, and Gandalf. They're all kind of talking and all that. It looks kind of shitty, but it is what, it is what it is. And then you get some scenes in Mirkwood where, I guess, because in the normal version, Bilbo is walking backwards, and, they're all kind of tripping out, and you're like, well, I get it, it's Mirkwood, not Mirkwood, it's, yeah, it is Mirkwood. It's just like a bunch of crazy spells and, all that crap. And in this film, you kind of see like a little scene of Bilbo trying to like cross this kind of like this river, body of water, and you see, Bomber, the fat one, just kind of fall in, and they kind of have to carry him. So there's added tension, there's added stuff that really makes the film stand out. In terms of action scenes, it's basically the same. There really aren't that many extended action scenes in the film. I kind of wish there were, but I guess we can't effing win all the time. The action scenes are freaking awesome, though. This is probably one of the best action scenes I've ever seen. I mean, the way Peter Jackson films his action scenes versus his talking or exposition scenes, they're all filmed the same way, and they're very effing well made. There's shots where Thorin is soaring past the camera, and the camera goes right past Smaug's eye. It's a very specific way of shooting shots, and it's very again, it's like Tintin from 2011. Even though that was directed by Spielberg, Peter Jackson produced. And, you get that. I don't get that sense with Lord of the Rings, at least the theatrical versions. And I love those films. But, Hobbit 1, 2, and 3 have these really badass and visceral and awesome shots to them where, it's just them walking and it's cool. Or, like I said, Thorin's flying past Sauron, or Legolas and Tauriel are killing orcs in Lake Town. And, they're stabbing him, and, the orcs go like, he makes these weird noises, or he shoots him through the chest, or like shoots him an arrow through one orc's head and into another one. I mean, there's a lot of awesome action scenes, and that barrel scene, man, again, weird CGI at one or two spots, but Legolas, when he's stepping on the freaking dwarves' heads, and they're playing that awesome music, and he's kicking them, and he's shooting them, and they're all stabbing. I mean, it's really, really awesome stuff. The elves are, kind of doing parkour in the trees and stuff. It's awesome, 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 and I think it's very, very cool that they were able to kind of show, bring Legolas back, because he's not even in the freaking Hobbit book at all. They brought him back, like, hey, people like Legolas from Lord of the Rings, let's bring him into The Hobbit. And then they introduced Tauriel. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, what about the love story? I think that the love story between Tauriel and Keely are actually it's pretty damn good. I'm not going to lie. I think it's pretty good. I think, is it the most fleshed out thing in the world? No, it doesn't effing have to be. It's freaking The Hobbit. You know what I mean? It's a little shoehorned, yes, but it works. It works. Because Keely is a dwarf, which normally in Middle-earth they're kind of, looked down upon as like the fat, grungy, slimy, dirty people, which they are, all of that. But, Tauriel is not only hot, but she's, viewed as this, Keely views her as this beautiful goddess, she's tall and she's freaking, she's sexy and she's a bad, she's killing, spiders and orcs with her blades, she's everything that Keely wants, and then you see all of this awesome stuff kind of come to a close where it's like, wow, okay. Keely, there's a scene where she's healing him from the poison, and he's kind of like, oh, you're not really here. Toriel's walking. She's doing something else. She's too good for me. Do you think I could have she could have loved me and all that? And I think that's it's not cheesy like the prequels. You know what I mean? Where Padme's like, I truly, deeply love you. It's like, shut the fudge up. You know what I mean? Just stop that. I hate that scene. You know what I mean? From episode 2. I love Star Wars, but I have to bring it up because the love story between Padme and Anakin in episode 2 is not that great in terms of writing and acting. This is leagues better. Is this the best? No, but it's leagues better than that. And again, I didn't cringe a single time watching anything with Keeley and Toriel in this film. And I think that's testament to Peter Jackson and everyone, because, again, Keeley doesn't even meet... There is no Toriel in the book. There's no Legolas in this book. There's so many things that Peter Jackson basically effing invented for this film and for this trilogy, and the fact that it works so well, and yeah, you think about, oh, where's Toriel in The Lord of the Rings? Is she dead? She's probably just working in Greenwood, serving Thranduil, and just kind of serving her time doing the same old thing. So that's, if you think about it too hard, your brain's going to blow up. But I do think that it is very good that they were able to kind of incorporate that stuff in there and actually make it work. I mean, for me at least, it effing worked. I wasn't sitting there going, oh my god, this is so cringy and lame. Like, I was like, all right, it's not amazing, but I can tell what they were going for, and I think it worked. I think, there's a lot of really good, like I said, the shots are great, the acting is still great, the writing is still great. All the extended bits were really good, and, I was kind of worried that the extended version would just kind of, make it more boring and bloated. And look, this movie is like 183 minutes. It's a long-ass movie. It finished at like 11:30 at night. So I'm recording this at like 11:35. But it is very much it's a film that is long, but it's even long. It's like 20-25 minutes longer than, the version I've seen. And yeah, it was really effing cool. Because this was my first time seeing the extended version, so seeing 25 minutes of new content, I was like, this is cool, because I know these movies like the back of my hand. I could tell what is new and what is not new, so to see all these new cool scenes in there is pretty effing neat, and, it works, It's a long movie, but it works as that. I think if these movies were shorter, it wouldn't work as well, because you have so many things. Toward the end of the film, you're following Bilbo and the dwarves and Smaug. Then you got frickin' Lake Town, Bard, Tilda, Bane, the other little girl, Keely's sick, Tauriel and Legolas fighting. We have the rivalry now between not only Thorin and Azog, but also Legolas and Bolg. We have Sauron, we have Radagast, we have Gandalf is captured. There's so many plot points going on, and the fact that it all effing makes sense, and I'm not scratching my head going, what the fudge is going on? You know what I mean? Where's Gandalf, and why is he here, and why is Bilbo doing this, and why is, none of that happened because the film is so cohesive. And again, it's trying to juggle different things, trying to juggle 7 balls at once, and they're effing doing it. They're flawlessly doing it. It's pretty cool. And again, in terms of CGI, one or two things, just Dwalin kind of being weird. It's very, very, very nitpicky because, Smaug is obviously, they probably wanted to focus a lot on that. But it looks fantastic for sure, a lot of it. And that's about it, I mean, the extended version is, in my opinion, the definitive version of the Desolation of Smaug. If you haven't seen it, yeah, it's a little longer. But again, it flushes out the story. It fleshes out the story in a really good way, and it makes you go, wow, okay, I'm glad that's in there. It's not just padding for time. It's not just, hey, let's make this shit longer than it has to be and just, 20 extra bucks for the... No, like, it's worth your money to buy it. It's worth your money, or worth your time to watch it. And, like I said, I've seen this film dozens of times since it first came out. And this is the first time I was like, wow, okay, they really did... This is a better movie than what I've seen. The extended version, it's actually better because it's extended. Like, I have Hobbit 2 normal on Blu-ray, and now I have the extended on Blu-ray, and I'm probably never going to watch the normal, because they flawlessly, again, fleshed out the world of Middle-earth in a really good way in the extended version, and I cannot wait to... Again, I've seen Hobbit 3, Battle of the Five Armies. I have seen that extended version already, just like the first Hobbit film, so really the only Hobbit film I have not seen extended is this one right here, and then I have not seen any Lord of the Rings extended material ever, so I can't wait to get into that. But, again, tell me in the comments down below what you think about The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. I think a lot of people, I don't know, they don't like the love thing. I think it's good. It's not It's not too crazy. It's not too out of place. I think the action scenes are fantastic. The comedy is really good. Again, it's not a comedy, but the funny moments are there. It's got really good tension. The voice acting from Smaug is good. It's not me, but whatever. They got a bunch of awesome CGI stuff in there. The action scenes are really great. So much. Comes together, especially in the extended edition, to really make this film. Again, this is the definitive version of Hobbit 2. And this is probably my favorite of the three Hobbit films. It'd probably go, as of right now, again, I have not rewatched Hobbit 3 at the time of recording this, but it'd probably go Hobbit 2, Hobbit 3, Hobbit 1 in terms of a list. But I love them all the same. It's hard to do that, but if I had to really put it into a gun barrel and shoot it, I would go boom 2, boom 3, boom 1. That's how I'd do it. But I think that while this was always my favorite of the three, now it probably really is my favorite because the extended versions and scenes, some of them are a few minutes, some of them are, very, long. Like that scene in the beginning with Beorn and, Thorin and Gandalf are talking in the Prancing Pony. I'm like looking at not my watch, but I'm looking and I'm listening to myself. I'm like, wow, this is when I think of an extended version, I think of like a 2-second scene, sprinkled here or there. But the fact that they were able to talk about Thorin's father and all this really cool stuff, and again have it all make sense and still build the world of Middle Earth, it's freaking awesome, man, what they were able to do. So if you haven't seen Hobbit trilogy or any of this stuff extended, make sure to watch them. Again, they are longer movies, but they're worth it in the end. So again, tell me in the comments down below what your favorite Hobbit film is. Again, probably, especially after the extended version of this, I'd have to say Hobbit 2 is my favorite. I can't wait to rewatch Hobbit: The Battle of the Five Armies. I'm gonna have a review out soon after that. And then we're going to skeet on over to the Lord of the Rings trilogy extended. I cannot wait to do that. And I'm going to give The Hobbit: The Desolation of Smaug extended edition an A. Again, I really cannot say enough good about this film. It looks great. It's shot great. The action scenes are freaking awesome. The love thing works for what they were trying to do. Smaug is awesome. There's so many really awesome set pieces. The practical and CGI is very good for the most part. And, the extended version only enhances that feeling that I have. So again, please tell me in the comments what you think. If you have seen the extended, what do you prefer, the theatrical or the extended version? Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.